Following a period of extreme cold and snowy weather, work's now underway again on the cathedral's re-landscaping, and I get down on site to interview the landscape architects, Chris Shiels and Ollie Phillips. Hello Chris, you're the Chief Landscape Architect for the Cathedral project and you're from HarrisonStevens. Would you like to tell us a bit about your starting point for the Cathedral's redevelopment?
Yeah, the starting point was a consultation process with the Cathedral group and the client group, where we sat down and talked through their aspirations and vision for the future of the space. We had a series of external consultations where we stood in the churchyard and talked to members of the public as they were passing by and using the space, and what they thought of the space and how they wanted it to be used in future. Challenges are working with external levels that are quite complicated and tying in. We're a curious bunch at HarrisonStevens, and we try to use those kind of things as a way of improving the scheme. We've taken the site levels, and as you can see behind the terrace is making the most of that, so we're using the site profile to create a series of terrace seatings which will make use of the level change. Elsewhere you've got quite a tight site, which makes it difficult to store materials and manoeuvre on site, but the contractor's been really organised and good in that respect, so it's not been too much of a hassle.
So what's your vision for the space?
Well, we've designed a landscape that gives the building and the architecture space to breathe and be appreciated. We want the external environment to be a place where people are welcomed into. It's never been particularly accessible. There was steps previously, so the main design intent was to make it an accessible space, so we've removed all the steps, and we've got a route around the site which is DDA compliant. We worked with an access consultant to get that to work, so it's opening the space up to everyone.
So Ollie, have there been any surprises on the site since the excavations and the work started?
Yeah, with this site we've actually found a lot of unmarked tombs that we weren't aware of, so we've had to work around that and find solutions. And then in the East Terrace here, there was a lot of paving that actually, when we turned them around, they discovered they were grade markers and ledger stones, so we're looking to implement those into the design so that it can be appreciated later. Yeah.
So Chris, what are the principal materials that you're bringing together on site?
All of the materials on site are high quality natural stone. We've referenced the city centre, the Grangertown material palettes, so the materials we're using on site here tie in with the wider city centre. We're using a granite for the terrace and behind us, Caithness and sandstone as the paving, which all tie in with the city centre. We've got a series of highlights that are dotted throughout the site where we've used material for specific purposes. For example, the Core 10 steel around the cathedral, and the limestone ribbon paving, which winds a route through the space and reveals points of history and of interest.
Ollie, how do you hope people are going to use the space when they come to visit the cathedral after relaunch?
Well, we hope it will become a destinational place for people to come and meet, also a place that can host events, like the East Terraces will be set up well for that, but also as a place where people can engage more with the cathedral. A lot of the design is around interpretative aspects that tell the history of the area as well as the cathedral, so we want people to, if they're passing through or meeting, to kind of stop and reflect on that history. So
I think finally seeing the site being used by the cathedral and by the public after such a long process of consultation and on site will be really fulfilling. It's our 10th year, and we've been working on the project for 4 years, so it's a really significant project for us.
It'll be really nice to have another green space in the heart of Newcastle, particularly post-COVID.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really valuable space for the local residents and officers to use.
Thanks very much. Hope the rest of it goes well for you both.